Hello, Juanpa. Male 25 Costa Rica. Pura vida, man. Pura vida, Juanpa, dear. You're the first one up. Well, it is almost 9 o'clock. There are three people here. Two of them are hiding because at this time of the night I turn into a vampire. I may bite. One of them actually is here, brave. That must be Wampa with a like, which is tremendous. 1 out of 3, that's 30% like. Now we have Prince here, which I'm sure I'm going to add up another like. Prince says, I sense the force of Master Mehran and key of God, what? Kakarat. Yeah, that's right. Right behind me. Watching over me. Hope all is well. And thank you very much. All will be well when I have 2 likes. Because there are 3 people here, 1 like, and I'm sure you haven't clicked yet. So click on. Princeton. And I have my special tea, green tea with slice of mango. Dried mango in it. There we go. 2 on 2. 2 current viewers and 2 likes. That's perfect score. What else do I want? So might as well say good night while I'm ahead. So I discovered that I can actually sit down on my comfy chair rather than that high chair that was making me kind of tilt toward the screen, and it was way up. But this is more comfortable. And actually I can even go this far, like this. Yeah, that's pretty good. But the problem is my sound system, my microphone is not recognized by the system, by OBS anymore, my Scarlett 212, I believe. So can you guys hear me even if I'm sitting like this from far away? Can you hear me well? Let me know if you're hearing me well. There are 4 of us here, 4 of you guys there, and 4 likes, and thank you very much. So the ones who haven't said hello, say hello, and then see if you can hear me if I'm talking from this position of grandeur, like, when I'm sitting on my throne, rather than coming forward closer to the screen. Is the sound quality okay from this far back? Feedback, please. Let me have a photo moment. And I put my pondering hat on and just like I'm thinking. Like I'm so wise. Like nobody notices that. Like I don't know that you guys are noticing. I'm just thinking. It's good for the beginning. Like I sit here oblivious to who's there and just have this posture of wisdom pose. We used to call it wisdom pose with other groups. I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, it was Marielos. I think Marielos that was, we were making fun that let me have the pondering pose, wisdom pose. So we have now. Oh, okay. Rebecca answered, out of all these people, 7 of us here, could you please let me know if you can hear me if I speak from this position? Because a few days ago, I was trying to clean something on the floor, and I guess not having exercised, something felt in my back muscle, and I've been kind of taking it easy, not doing exercise for the past few days. So if I sit like this, I'm more comfortable than having to come forward and be at the tip of the edge of the chair and then to be close, and then it's a little bit more strain on the back. Until I recover, I prefer this, but I want to see if you guys can hear me okay from this far position. Just give me a feedback. Like if you say 1, that means you hear me well. If you say 2, that means not good if I'm talking with the volume that I'm talking. So Rebecca says, yeah, I can hear you properly. Oh, that's good. All right, that's one person, but I want to hear from the rest of you too. And Prince says, yeah, I can hear you, although you sitting back makes you look like a Sith Lord. Yes, that's the idea, isn't it? Because I've been humble and available to everyone, and subscriptions are not going anywhere. So from now on, I'm trying to have this bullshit image of I'm too busy to answer your question. You may go on my channel and make an appointment on my site. And it's a trick to get business going. But because I've been so open and available, people don't think this channel is important. They don't sign up. So now I'm going to change my posture. I'm going to think unnecessarily about easiest questions that could be posed. Very difficult question, my son, my daughter, my child. I don't know, maybe a change of image will do it, and people say, oh, this guy is very important. But if I'm available all the time, then I guess they wouldn't think it's valuable to join us. So we try to promote this channel to reach more people and help more people. Well, what can I do? So we have Chester. Aloha, Chester. Chester says, male 27, Hawaii. Says, aloha, Master Meron. Aloha, my son. It's a new image. Not so available. Wait, go make an appointment with my secretary. I am a bit fatigued now. I'm busy. All right. The problem with sitting back here is that, yeah, it's very comfortable, but I can't see the words so easily. So might as well come forward and then backward. So male 27 Hawaii, aloha Master Meron. Chester says, aloha dear, mahalo. And says, we are all your Padawans. Yes. Do not underestimate the power of the dark side. My son. So sometimes it comes out right good, but sometimes the voice doesn't carry. And Chester says, glad to see you again, and may the force be with you. Yes, that's Obi-Wan. May the force be with you always. This is the way. Yes, and this is the way. That's right. All in one sentence. Do not underestimate the power of the dark side. May the force be with you. That's Obi-Wan Kenobi, and then this is the way. Mandalorian. So we are just a whole, all channels in one. And Aman says, 19 male India, and he says, can thoughts create physical pain? It's not part of the posture. I'm actually thinking. Well, it may make you think that there is a pain sensation, but there may not be any pain or sensation, but it can make you believe, like hallucination. You can hallucinate to see something, but you can also, in a way, hallucinate and believe there is a pain. Yeah, it's possible. Rebecca says, do you think that a slight form of OCD that you don't cure could become a big problem in the future? Absolutely. Rebecca, absolutely. That's how it works. Because, look, in order to understand that, you got to understand the experiment done by Dr. Jan Grable from MIT, and one of the experiments that was mostly done by Carl Smith, one of her postgraduate students, which I explained before, I believe, Rebecca. It was about first getting a rat to recognize two different sounds, tones that were playing. One tone would, the goal of that tone was for the rat to respond in this way, that going forward, make a left turn and go get chocolate milk. And the other tone, if it would be used, is supposed to encourage the rat to go forward, go to the right, and get sugar water. So they did that for hundreds of times, and eventually the rat became proficient to recognize which note is giving him the signal to go forward to the left, get chocolate milk, and which note he's supposed to, when hearing it, go forward, make a right turn, go get sugar water. Once that was done, so the reason the rat got to want to do it was because every time that it followed the right path and responded correctly to the tone, and let's say to the chocolate milk tone, went forward, made the left turn, and got the chocolate milk, then dopamine was secreted. So a good feeling of something good was happening. Obviously, in the rat's mind, probably was say, "Oh, great, chocolate milk." So that feeling, that thought, Dr. Schwartz says it funnier, but I think that's the whole idea. That thought, that feeling of, oh, it feels good, I found chocolate milk, gives the rat a notion of something good has happened, which that brings about the secretion of dopamine. And to get that feeling, and then the rat will be trained to go and get that reward because it wants to feel good. So after training it, then it's now not doing it because of being trained for getting the chocolate milk to comply with the note and go and do it right to get the chocolate milk. Now it's doing it because every time it gets the chocolate milk, something amazing happens. He feels, wow, that's a dopamine effect. So after 300-400 times, the rat is no longer doing it just for chocolate milk, is doing it for the dopamine. That is, the conditioning training turns into a different motivation. But then you do that, I don't know, 1,000 times, something interesting happens. And that is, the rat is no longer doing it just for the dopamine. It's gone beyond the reward being dopamine. It's now doing it because it's habit. So the neuroscience of habit shows how OCD obsession to do the compulsion making you feel. So you do the compulsion in order to feel, in order to comply with the obsession. Obsession shows up, you do the compulsion to get rid of the obsession. That was your motivation. But later on, every time you do the compulsion, you feel good. Dopamine is secreted. So no longer you're just doing it to fulfill the obsession by doing the compulsion. You're doing it to get the dopamine, to feel good because of the dopamine. And for the rat, it was now, and then when you do it a lot, no longer you're actually doing it for the dopamine, you're doing it because it has become part of your ritual, habit. For the rat, after doing it 1,000 times, they introduced a little bit of a chemical into the chocolate milk that if you would have it, even though it responded to the right tone, it went to the right direction, it got found the chocolate milk, and drank it in order to get the dopamine, but it would get that chemical in the chocolate milk which would make him feel nauseated, wanted to throw up. But no longer he could stop himself every time the bell rang, the sound, the tone rang, even though it knew that there is something that makes him vomit or feel nauseated, he would still now go and find that chocolate milk and have some chocolate milk, not because he likes to be feeling nauseated, and it's not doing it because the dopamine is secreted, because dopamine or not, if it makes you feel nauseated, you won't do it. But the power of habit is so strong that even though the reaction to getting the chocolate milk was throwing up or feeling nauseated, he would still do it. Every time the tone rang, he would still go and get the chocolate milk, even though he knew he was going to throw up. So you can see how important it is not allowing OCD to find its way to turn it into a habit. From OCD to compulsion, from compulsion to be the reason, to become dopamine be the reason for complying to the obsession, and then from there doing the obsession, doing the compulsion just because it's your habit, not because of dopamine or obsession anymore. It's because it's your habit. That conditioning takes place when you continuously adhere and comply to the OCD expectation. When the anxiety goes up, you come up with a compulsion to bring the anxiety down. That's the trade-off that you do. But what you're actually doing, you're training yourself for it to become a habit, which will become more difficult to get rid of. That's why the sooner you deal with OCD and understand it through knowledge and then not comply with the compulsion of it, the better off you are, because the easier you can get rid of it. So, so that's the answer to Rebecca's question. Says, do you think that a slight form of OCD that you don't cure could become a big problem in the future? And yes, because of what I just explained. Because it's no longer you're going to be bound by the OCD and compulsion, and no longer by the dopamine that's created by doing the compulsion to bring the anxiety down and feel good about it. You're now doing it because you didn't care to fix it up or resist it. You simply did it, and it became your habit. And the goal finding center and reward center, goal finding center is when the rat goes and finds the chocolate. That the reward is the chocolate, but also is the dopamine that is making it to become a habit. They're all in the same center, striatum. Goal finding, reward center, and habit center. They're all in the same circle. That's why they kind of work together. One leads to the other and then to the other. That's why it's very important to deal with OCD as soon as you can get the knowledge and find out that it's just simply bullshit. It's like a blackmail. It's like the old times they wanted to control people and they would make them afraid of boogeyman. If you don't do this, I'll have boogeyman. Or if you won't do this, some magical powers will destroy you. That fear. So if you don't call out the OCD, you will be bullied by it because you will buy into the fact that it's something real. But when you know it's bullshit, you won't buy into it no matter what the topic is. I don't care if the topic is just washing your hand 5 times or locking the door 50 million times or having intrusive thoughts of pedophilia or harming someone or homosexual OCD or whatever the OCD subset is. You got to call it out and call it for what it is, and through knowledge put a stop to it to turn this thing into habit and then become a bigger problem to get rid of. And we have Carpe Diem here, says, hello, dear Mayron, 42 Male Canada. Hello, Carpe Diem, and thank you for being here. And Carpe Diem says, what is your favorite meditation, Mayron? Well, we actually have done the meditation on channel here. I like concentration meditation and breathing meditation. Breathing meditation is very helpful for many reasons. First, it just is a meditation on its own. Mindful exercises increases the neurotransmitters that are necessary for us, and we want to increase them. GABA neurotransmitter, melatonin, serotonin, growth hormones, and reduces cortisol level. All of that happens because of the mindful exercise, because of the meditation. And breathing meditation is a meditation. At the same time, it fills your lung with more oxygen, which is going to make all the distribution of oxygen, more oxygen to all the cells everywhere in the body, which will help the regulation and the balance of the body and cleaning the impurities much more in one shot. When you have a deep breathing exercise, which we did that. If you remember, we have the exercise that you breathe in and you exhale. Then you hold. Then you breathe in back. And because you're focused on the flow of the breathing, that's one way of the mental content while you're doing the breathing. And the other one is that what we talked about, that while you're breathing in, you're also imagining the energy of the universe condensing and flowing into the small point in lower abdomen, as the same where the oxygen is coming into filling you up. At the same time you're filling, you're having the energy of the universe from all corners of the universe flowing into you, into the one point at the lower abdomen. And so then when you exhale, you focus on expansion of the energy of the universe outwardly to the ends of the universe, you being the center of the universe, and this expanding all directions. At the same time, you're exhaling. So with that function of physical function of exhaling, you have a mental process, mental content of it actually reaching the outskirts of the universe in all directions. So that alone, it keeps your focus, which gives a break to the brain from any kind of function. It just goes on idle and gets a chance to rebalance and the neurons to slow down, and you bring the ripples of the waves of the brain to infinitely imperceptible decrease in ripples, and which would help the brain to settle down, and its overactivity settles down, and it's very helpful. So this is one meditation that I really like. And remember that we talked about the two breathing system, which we talked about. I think the other time we talked about the two system of Pre-Butzinger complex, which is responsible for the normal long breathing, and then a parafacial nuclei, which is the way that you can actually start interfering with the rhythm of the breathing and control it according to how you want the breathing to be. Like when you're crying, you go, that's not a normal breathing rhythm. That is not the system of the Pre-Butzinger complex. This is now you're using the parafacial nuclei system to modify the breathing rhythm. But that breathing rhythm, if you do it purposely, will actually affect all the um, all the systems that are connecting and functioning in the brain in different uh, um, tasks, and causes the brain to snap out of a depression or anxiety and give you a moment to feel good in order to start getting engaged in exercise and things that you don't feel like doing. By doing this kind of a breathing, like if you just do it now, you're having a regular breathing, but instead of regular breathing, breathe two long ones, like and then exhale. Once you do that, suddenly you're no longer depressed and no longer have anxiety. And that gives you enough, wide enough window to give you a chance to get off your butt and do things that you didn't want to start, like cleaning your home, or I don't know, cleaning the bathroom, making your bed, or going for a walk, or going to a gym. Start is very important when you're depressed or are anxious. But once you snap yourself out of that by this kind of a breathing, which uses the parafacial nuclei breathing system, you kind of give yourself that moment of wellness in order to start something that is good for your health. So meditation of all kinds are very important and useful. And Princeton says, yes, sir, I can vouch about pain. There's a certain brain region responsible for pain sensation and another one responsible for receive unpleasantness and experience like a breakup and so on and so forth. Well, on the breakup, it's not mental. It's basically when you feel something anxious in your chest or stomach, the vagus system that goes from the brain stem through the neck, through the chest, through the stomach, and then continues onwardly. It has a responsibility when you feel your sympathetic and parasympathetic system is active, like fight and flight system. It tightens up your chest because you want to kind of get into some kind of a reaction to some disaster, so to speak, and that also stimulates the vagus nerve, which then you feel more of a sensation or pain in that area. And I have a video that I actually discussed how that happens, which maybe I'll find it later and then we can discuss it next time, or just put the link up for you guys when I upload it. And Didi Berry says, hello, sir. Hello, Didi. And Sarge778 returns, says, hi, Mehran. He says, hell, Mehran. Oh, hell. I guess the O is missing, eh? Says, hell, Mehran. 20 male in North Carolina. Says, how do you deal with someone who grew up with, you were separated from for years, then they've changed and almost seem to be ignoring you despite you wanting to what? Reconnect? Listen, don't suck up to anyone. They want to be like that, be like that. Let them go. Why do you have to force someone who is just stupid enough or somehow feels that, oh, I'm beyond this now? I don't want Surge 778 to be someone around me who knows about all my shortcomings when we were younger and all the stuff that I told him or stuff that he saw me being so, I don't know, this way or that way, or weird or not weird. And so the first thing they do, they try to disconnect themselves from people who know about their past if they are not so happy about it, which is not your responsibility. You wanted to be friends with them again. Okay, you were there. They didn't comply or they didn't take advantage of it, then the hell with it. Move on. The reason you ask how do I deal with, because you want to deal with it. There's nothing to deal with. There's no deal here. The guy or the friend is not interested to be a pal or reconnect. Why do you want to? What? What's there? Fuck him. Let him go. Simple. And Serge says, I should also say I was formerly Rex or Logan in chat. Oh, okay. Either way, if some people are not cordial and friendly, that's their way of trying to look like they're more valuable than they used to be, because what they used to be was not valuable, was worthless in their own mind. And now they're trying to kind of recover it, somehow have this kind of an image, and that you don't buy into it. So just fuck off. Just go. You don't have to tell them fuck off. Just say nothing. Do your own thing. And they want to ignore you, ignore them. No problems. Mona M. Safa says, hello, Mona John. Mona, remind me, where are you? In UK, are you? And remind me of the age. It's been a long time. What happened to you? You disappeared, Mona. And we have Aman says, how to not get envy of somebody doing great career-wise and attack our own self-esteem. Does it help you when you get envious? Like, does it give you the certain kind of a success and accomplishments and achievements that you've been, you've been hoping to get? Does that help you when you're envious of somebody else? So if it doesn't, why should you be envying? Why? It's like, what, that was the only opportunity out there and he got it, and now because he got it, you can't have it? There are other opportunities for you out there. Go and accomplish yourself. Why should you be envy? Be happy for people that they're successful. Great. That gives you also more energy, inspires you to go and get it. It says, look, if this idiot can be successful, I can be too. Or you don't have to say it in negative, but you say, look, he's probably done something or was in the right place at the right time or worked hard or suffered or persevered, and then he got it. So that means it's possible. Great. If it's possible, I can do it too. In the old times when nobody had run a mile under 4 minutes, and everybody was trying and nobody could, and they thought it's just impossible to run a mile under 4 minutes, until one person did it. That energy, the fact that set their mind and conditioned their mind for fact that it can be done, then boom, second one, third one, and they all did it faster than this other one, because until that moment they had believed that it cannot be done. And when the mind thinks it cannot be done, well, you won't pursue it as seriously as you can with all your might and abilities. So it won't be done. It's no different than having your hand here and say, oh, my hand is stuck to my chest. I cannot pull it away. It's stuck with glue. It's bolted in. It's sewed on and it's stuck. It's one piece. I can't take it out. As long as you take this way, you can't pull your hand off. As long as you think that way. But the minute it says, oh, I can move it. There we go. It's the belief system. That's why OCD and HOCD and all the other substances are so dangerous if you take them seriously, because you end up believing, because the brain suggests that irrelevant thought to you. And you're supposed to be above and stronger than this. Say, I don't believe this bullshit. It's irrelevant to me, and just let it be. I'm not going to entertain it. Fuck off. And you focus on what it is that you are interested in, how you want to be in your life, what you know of yourself to be, what your choice is, and what your desire and your decision is about yourself, how your life is styled to be, and what you want to represent yourself as and enjoy your life like. That's when you realize that you are free and you're the boss of it all, not have to follow the brain and its silly suggestions. And the same thing, when the mind believes something, then it can do it. When it believes something bad, then it starts getting bad results and bad, mood and feelings and everything, because it's a belief. There's no reality to it, but the brain is so powerful that made you believe it's a reality. Like it can make you feel you're a sofa. It can make you feel that you're a cow. You go sleep in the stable. That's what the crazy people are, because they believe their brain is them. They're supposed to follow the brain rather than the brain is supposed to take orders from you, the me, and you're the boss of it. You choose the nonsense or the usefulness of the thoughts that are created by the brain, not the other way around. And that's the same way when the 4-minute run, 4-minute mile was done by one runner, then they understood that it can be possible. When they believed it's possible, then everybody did it. And same thing here. When you believe that it can be done because this other guy has become successful, then that should be a plus for you. It should make it easier for you to, because you become more determined, because you can see it's been done. It can be done. Somebody did it. And somebody that you know. So there's no need to be envy. Be happy. If they're good people, be happy. If they're not good people, learn that it's possible, but just don't have anything to do with them. They're assholes. Simple. And Carpe Diem says, I feel much better. Thank you, Mehran. Thank you for sharing. My pleasure. And it was today I was asking myself, where is Carpe Diem? Because you were absent today, weren't you? Yeah? Or were you there today? You were today. But yesterday, was it? Well, one of these ones that I knew that you would be here for Saturdays, like I guess it was this afternoon. Anyhow, glad that you're here. And I have another one, says, hello, Mehran, 22 male. Okay, where you call, I've asked this before and you never answer me. Where are you located? Why don't you let me know your origin? What's wrong with that? Why should you be shy about it? I've asked that several times here on Live Talks and on the comments that you send me, that I respond to it. And I've asked you your gender, your age, and where you're tuning in from. Now I know you're 22-year-old male, but I never know which country it is, so I will have no idea of your cultural background and how I can maybe connect better with the answers that I give you, knowing a little bit more about you. I think, well, your writing is a Hebrew writing. And I kind of question, you seem to be a nice guy when you have your questions, and when I send you, you're very cordial and polite. But not that it, I don't want to interfere with what you say or doing, but the translation of that writing in Hebrew, I looked it up, it's inappropriate. So I wonder why you're using Hitler's face and the wording in Hebrew that says that you love Hitler. I mean, it's up to you, but I don't find that appropriate. And I really don't mean to be a investigator or police for what you prefer, or it's your freedom, whatever you want to say, it's up to you. But I'm just asking. Obviously, you write in Hebrew, which means you're a Jewish brother and sister. So why would you think that's something to, I don't know, to present yourself with? Huh? You're from Nepal. If you're from Nepal, why do you write in Hebrew, and why do you write that word, which is a kind of, what is it? Rather, there's no reason to say things like that, right? especially knowing the background of the jerk. And he says, sorry for that. It was a troll account back in the day. Yeah, okay. Change that. Change that, because it's inappropriate to say, in Hebrew that you love Hitler. I mean, that's disrespectful. And I know you're not really, you're just trolling, and you said that yourself. So say something that is becoming, and it's a gentlemanly, and it's in support of all other people around the world, rather than having a negative connotations. That's what I'm trying to say. All right, let's see. And and he says, I hate Hitler. Okay, listen, I'm not here to say this or say that. I'm just saying that it's just not appropriate. That's all. And I mean, when you are in your heart, you are a good person, and you want everyone's safety and health and success. Why would you say such a word that could hurt some other people, and at the same time you don't mean it? So why should you say either with this way or that way? Just let it be. Just do your own thing, and don't just no need to make any comment either this way or that way. Just it's more respectful, I think, to say nothing. Okay, great. I know. You. I know. I understand. No worries. I know you said it was a trolling thing, and from old accounts, and just it's not becoming of a good person like you. So let's go. Let's see where were we? Surge778 says, thanks for the perspective, Mehran. I appreciate it. You're quite welcome. And Aman says, it's an unlike question, but in short, I want to ask this. How Steve Jobs and Michael Jackson found their own way of working, which in their field nobody found. How to find own way of doing work. It doesn't have to be own way or not own way. Just see what you're interested in, what you like, what you want to learn, what you want to help people with, what you want to produce, what you enjoy doing, and then you learn how to do it better. Maybe other people have done it before. Or find a way to improve what they have been doing. A product that you can improve, a service that you can improve. It's okay to take your model of what other successful people have done and do it a little bit better. There's nothing wrong with it. Unless it's something that is copyrighted or patented, well, okay, then you go comply with the law and you don't interfere. You find something else that is different, but is unique on its own. So, and what's the name of how can I call you? Because your screen name is not easy for me unless I put it into Google Translation. I wouldn't know how to call you. So it says, hello Mehran, 22 male from Nepal. It says, my friend has very low self-esteem and he has cynical views of life. He thinks that he is so low in life that he cannot achieve. Actually, he has been raised very strictly. He says that his life is so meaningless as he doesn't have social skills. Thus, he wants to have revenge on his family for how he was raised. Basically, he was abused. Abused what? Because of the strict rules? Well, the best way to revenge is to study well, get a good job, become independent, and move out and live your life the way you live, and still be cordial and respectful to your parents, because look, they may have done some things that you may not approve of in the way of being strict and all that, but that's what they knew, and you're their child, and they wanted to raise you the way they dreamed of raising their child, and they have. Now you learn that you don't like certain things, change it in yourself. It's not late. There's no branding. You can change it and then raise your children differently and accomplish yourself, become independent. Why should you hate them? I mean, they still took care of you that you are here, safe and sound. So whatever they did, they thought it's right. It's not that it was right, but they thought it's right. Their intention was in right places. And so it's not like they wanted to harm you if you feel that you've been harmed in this way, because now you have your own opinions about things. But when you were a kid, you didn't mind. You were taking their leadership, and you were safe, and you were having shelter and food and taken care of. And now you're at the position that you can call your own shots. And so go and accomplish yourself, and then, understand that they did what they could understand, what their capacity was. It's not like they wanted to harm you. And he continues, says, he judges his value to be low in social hierarchy. Well, he can judge whatever he wants, but why does he judge that? Why does he put himself down? Why do you guys put yourself down? Why? You think if you do that, then the others will have mercy on you? Nobody will have mercy on you. There are a bunch of assholes out there. They all think about their own shit. Don't think if you suck up to people, they're going to be, let me take care of this. And they're going to abuse you more. Like, they're going to make you be a gopher, do things in order to give you a little bit of an opportunity. And you think, they're so nice. They smile at me. They say nice words to me. And they're going to have my best interest. No, they're not. Most people have their own best interest in mind. Who's the most important person in the world? For each person is pretty much themselves. The only people that could have your best interest, someone's best interest, mostly, if anything, not necessarily, but if at all, it would be parents. Otherwise, everybody else who's not the parents to you, didn't raise you, didn't give you life and took care of you, protected you, fed you, and died for you and lived for you, is not going to care about you. They're going to care about themselves. So while you're cordial and you make connections and have social skills of diplomatically interacting with people, but you don't have to suck up with them, and you don't have to think they're better than you, and you don't have to think that they'll have your best interest in mind. They will have their best interest. That's how it is. So you can be cordial and polite and nice and kind to people who are nice and polite to you, but you can't completely think, they're just amazing, they're going to look after me. Maybe, maybe not. Most times, 99.9% no, not. And if push comes to shove, they look after themselves. So he doesn't have to judge himself lower than other people. What for? Because they got a little bit more money? Or we got some things? What about, what you are to yourself? You're supposed to respect yourself before you expect others to respect yourself. Conduct yourself properly in life. Accomplish what you want to, persevere. Do your best. Make best efforts. And the others will respect you because, obviously, you take your own life seriously and you respect your own efforts. They will learn it. You become their model in how to behave and interact with you. And he judges his values to be social hierarchy. He also judges his credibility to be low near woman. Because you want something from women, and that pleasure, that desire makes you think that they are better than you, but they have not necessarily anything to be having scored more of you in anywhere, any job, any opportunity in the world in general. They just happen to be female, and most people love female. And so they desire female. That by itself, it doesn't mean that they have accomplished anything. It just means you're programmed to desire female. If you're a heterosexual male, you're programmed in your genes to desire female. And that desire for pleasure to be with the female makes you think that the female is higher than you because you want something from her. Otherwise, in reality, she may have not accomplished anything more than you, even near than you. But this desire, this need makes you think that they are more value, higher, and you respect them. You bend up and down and try to accomplish, to comply to their wishes and all that. But have you asked yourself, why am I sucking up to them? Have they come up with the cure for common cold? Are they protecting the older elderly and feeding them, or they're protector of the children and the people who have diseases and need medicine and care and all that? No, they're not doing shit. But you think, oh, they're so amazing. Why? Because you desire for pleasure. That's what you're tuned in. If you take that out and look at their persona, what they have accomplished, and how they're behaving, you see there's nothing special about them. But at your age, you cannot see them as they are. You see them with the eye of desire. And the eye of desire will convince you that, hey, they're really delicious, so you must comply and do what they want because they're better than you. That's how you think. But that's not you. That's your desire thinking. So try to see people with the eye of wisdom rather than eye of desire, with eye of the actuality, with eye of the now, and then you will see the actuality of people, and they judge them based on who they are, what they have accomplished, not based on your desire and your need for them. People and things are important. The importance of people and things are equal to your desire and need for them. If you don't have any desire and need for them, suddenly, look, the same credential, the same education, the same accomplishment or lack of accomplishments of two women, exact same thing, same age, same everything. But one of them, to your taste, is good looking, the other one is not sexy. But they both have the same credentials, just as much, exact same thing. One of them you don't think is better than you. You're just yourself. The other one, you jump when she says, so it calls your name. Why? They're both the same in qualification, education, experience, anything, goodness, manners, whatever. But one of them, you're turned on. So it's the eye of desire, not your real, proper judgment based on her persona. So if he can get over that and understand that he should respect himself and treat himself properly, and at the same time go and persevere and make something out of himself, and then we've got something going. Otherwise, he can simply be bamboozled, or not bamboozled, impressed by other people's accomplishments, and say, compare his lack of efforts to other people's effort. Every time he's going to feel inferior. No, it's not too late. He's just coming up with excuses so he doesn't have to pay any, make any efforts. He's becoming lazy. He's conditioning himself to be lazy, not to do things. That's what he's done. All these excuses. But if he breaks that and starts building something, then too late. What do you mean too late? He's 70 years old. Even that is not too late in some things. All right. Jason says, hello friends, what the topic we are talking about? Jason, look up there. The title of the live question is a Q&A regarding breakups, relationship, intrusive thoughts, OCD, HOCD, things to do with the psyche, thoughts, consciousness, fear, desire, ego, and material process. Hang on, guys. Let me close this window. Somebody's smoking and it's driving me nuts. All right. All right. That's better. I hate it when people smoke. It comes through the window. So we have Archita Desal. It's retracted, whatever it was. Neat Prep says, hello, Mehran. I've been dating someone since last few months, and it was all great. But lately, since last 1 month, they were occupied at first because of family members' health. Okay? But now when everything is over, they don't seem to have time like they used to before. They're told nothing is wrong, but they are just occupied in things. But it seems the person doesn't just have time, and they have apologized for not giving much time, but seems there is something wrong. Okay, so there is. You'll find out. Just give me a moment, guys. There's too much smoke here. Just give me 1 minute. 1 minute. I'll clean this up here. All right. This is, but now whenever okay, there's something wrong. Okay, because of this neglect, I feel something low, but I'm trying to focus on my work and other things in life. Guys, do you guys not think that even if you go to a tailor, you got to give him or her some measurements? Your neck size, the length of your arm, around your chest, waist, something to know about you. Why don't you bloody tell me in every one of your questions, gender, age, where you're tuning in from? So I would know what your age is, what your gender is, what your cultural background is. How can I know? How can I assess it? So once you put that in, Nip, and I get back to you. Shoaib Khan says, hey Mehran, Shoaib 24, male, India. How are you? And hope you're doing well. Thank you, Shoaib. Good of you to be here. Carpedium says, how do you deal with people get on your nerves or piss you off? Just like with the smoking example. Yeah, oh yeah. That's the dilemma. Most often people these days are simply oblivious and discourteous to other people's, they're not concerned with other people's well-being. And that's the kind of world we live in. The values have changed since 50 years ago, 60 years ago. Most people have become assholes. And that's the general idea of the way the laws and regulations and the focus of the government has been on independence, money, and getting what you can, and anyone goes for itself, dog eat dog, and all that mentality that at one time was taboo and was the worst trait one could have, has now become the in thing. So they become oblivious to other people's rights, especially human brain being so unsophisticated and stupid to begin with. And if you don't condition it and teach it well, which most don't, what we get conditioned and taught is through the garbage of television and garbage of the video games and garbage of all other kind of mediums and political gains and all kinds of things that is benefiting someone or some group rather than being a balanced approach to something for everyone. So then our brain is conditioned and learns to be more of an asshole than it would be if it's not trained at all. So when people piss you off, it's not a reflection on you. You just got to understand that these people are simply subhuman, are stupid, are really low lives. Because if you're not concerned about the rights of other people, if you're not concerned about the well-being of other people, you just do something because all you have in your mind is what it is for you and not the consequence of what it has to other people. It's no different than somebody has got the feeling of, I don't know, they want to pee and they just take their pants off and start shitting or peeing in the street because that relieves them. And they're not concerned about what effect it has on the people around them. That's the kind of a mentality that we are dealing with most people. So the guy wants to smoke in the lower floor. He says, what the hell? I'm smoking. I'm outside. It's within my right. They come up with excuses to justify what they want to do. Or someone who, spins in front of you and driving because they feel like, it's me. What did I do? I'm just taking care of myself. They come up with justifications. And it's the same with anything else. I don't know what your particular situation is you're referring to, Carpe Diem, but assholes are assholes, regardless of the kind of them, the model, and the brand name of it. They're all assholes. You like saying, a donkey from Kazakhstan is a worse or better donkey than the one in Japan. A donkey is a donkey, good or bad. So if one is an asshole, which we have got many of them around the world right now, their behavior is the same. Assholeness. So you put them in the category of assholeness and stop expecting more from them. The problem that we get pissed off, I am not focused on the person who's smoking, but the smoke that is, I'm trying to remedy so it wouldn't bother me. And if I focus on getting pissed off at the person who's smoking, which part of it is there, but if I give it more numbers, I become more frustrated because I'm not focusing on remedying the situation and I'm just focusing why that person is doing. Why? Because that person is an asshole. There is no why. So I better focus my abilities towards remedying the situation. Get up, go close the window, come and turn the Dyson on and have the air cleaned up to get rid of that problem rather than focusing on why that person is doing that. That I cannot help. But changing the situation, I can, as best as I can. That's the most important thing that I should focus on because I should be taking care of my health, not understanding why that person. It doesn't help me if that person did it for good or bad reason. It still is hazardous and uncomfortable for me. So same thing with you. If somebody, spins in front of your car or does something weird, put them in the category of assholeness and don't expect more than you would or could expect from an asshole. The problem comes when you think there are intelligent people and then you wonder why they did it then. No, they're not. They're idiots. Simple. And then don't expect more than is reasonable from someone who actually didn't have good enough judgment not to do that wrong thing, that thing that is inconveniencing others, or in your case, pisses you off. If he didn't know better, or if he did and did it on purpose, well, either way, he's an asshole. Either dumb and stupid and not concerned about the consequences of his action on others, or is knowing it what the consequence is and the resultant effects of it is on the others and still does it, which makes him a pure asshole, like, 100 proof. So the short and long is to ignore, put in categories, understand that you're dealing with an asshole, not that you should be surprised because he's a scholar and really, a really polite samurai, well-mannered, civil human being, and still doing it. No, it's an idiot, and to put him in the right category, understand that you cannot expect more from the person, and then focus on the remedying it for your own benefit, and then leave the idea of why he's done that. You can't figure that out. Nobody can. All right. Vivi says, hi, Mehran, 33, male, California. Oh, hello there. Says, how does the current COVID lifestyle affect you? Well, the same way it affects you and everybody else. Just, we can't go to the gym. We're losing our muscles. There's not much to have our mind to focus on, rather than the things that if we are not giving, good food for the brain, then it starts conjuring up garbage and lots of, stuff that is not pleasant. So you got to find yourself to be active and use the opportunity to learn something, do things that you like to do. But it's affecting us the way, no gym, no exercise, no activities, no social behavior, social activities. It's just you're trying to, it's a war. It's a war. What would you do if we were all in wars? We would have to understand quickly that there are certain things that we no longer can do. So then we focus on defeating the enemy, all working together and as one unit in harmony, observe what's best for all of us and do our actions and activities that would not bring harm and risk to the others, while it wouldn't bring harm and risk to ourselves. And then we'll all, hopefully, we'll have a better chance to go through this and win the battle. That's pretty much all I have to say about that. Says, I feel very depressed that it is not going away anytime soon. Mask restriction rules, how to deal with anger regarding this. Well, the anger, look, if it was helpful, I would encourage all of you to be angry right now with me together, all of us. I mean, and I'm sure the government would be encouraging, because it would be scientifically proven that if you get angry, we can defeat the disease faster, right? But it's not. So really, being angry, all it does is just makes it more difficult ourselves. So best is to find things that is fun, to find things that is productive, that you can accomplish things in this day and age. Think that we are in the dark ages. There's no electricity. What would happen if we were like this happening 1,000,000 years ago? Huh? Or 1,000 years ago? There was no electricity then. What were we going to do? Coal, no food. So if you look at it, we have better chance now than we could have had then. It says YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. As such, viewers will experience buffering. Oh, really? Are you guys experiencing buffering? Open widget. What is the widget? Widget. Stream is healthy. Stream is excellent. At 8:51. Oh, okay. Error. This is not. YouTube is not receiving enough. Okay, whatever. What can I do? So you see, right now, that's what it is. It's not receiving enough signal, so what can I do? Getting angry is not going to help it. So if you get angry, it's not going to help it. But we are accustomed and conditioned since childhood that we got to complain to some authority in order to alleviate what's bothering us. But we're all in it together. We can't complain to the sea. We are on a ship, and we all got to work together to get through this. Getting angry doesn't make me row faster. If I get angry, it makes me row slower. So we all need to be relaxed and do the best we can. Find things that are fun, find things that are productive, be kind to each other, arrange and be more organized with food and everything else, and wear our mask and do our best, and then be relaxed and row faster. And eventually we go through this hazardous time and we get to the shore. So That's pretty much what I can say about that. Okay. Neat Prep says, I'm 23, female from India, and says that the person I'm dating is 26, female, India. So you are a female and she's a female. You're 23 and she's 26. And both are from India. And due to some things that happened in their family, they were busy. And so that interval kind of interrupted your dating and friendship with her. And now you wonder, why is she not paying the same kind of a time and attention? Well, obviously things have changed. Their mentalities changed because of when they went through. Priorities are changed. So be patient. Do your thing and don't be running after her. Just wait around, do your things. And if you miss her, she will miss you too. If she doesn't, well, the hell with it. So what? Someone else. It's not the end of the world. You're 23 years old, and there's so many other opportunities for you out there anyhow. So just be cool. Look, as you said, they said this is affecting my emotional state a lot, but I don't know what to do about this, and the person would have at least 5-10 minutes to call in the day, but that too they do once in a week now. Okay, so what? You can't force them to do something more than what they're doing, right? So what you can do is save face and don't suck up to them, or don't follow them up, or don't call them up and say, why are you not calling? Because the more you do that, they feel more sure themselves that, oh, well, they're too good for you. Just ignore them. That's it. You got to play that game if that's the case. If you really, like her and all that. So, okay, play the game and ignore her, and don't contact them at all, with the idea that you're going to go on with your life and find another opportunity. And if she did contact you, you just be who you are. Don't complain. Why didn't you call me earlier? Then don't show weakness. Just do your thing and see. Say, oh yeah, how are you doing? How's your life? Okay, good. You seem like happier now, having things in control. Says, oh yes, I am. Say, okay, good. All right, listen, I gotta go right now. It was very good to hear from you, and hope to talk to you again. That's it. Boom, boom, bye. Let her know that you're not gonna wait around and see what she's doing, what she's not. It's all about control game. So don't do that. Don't allow that happen to you by behaving the way you're too worried about it. So don't. And Alisa Ellen says, hi Mehran, my ex is moving. Alicia or Elisa, where is the protocol? Gender, age, okay, I can see the gender, but from your picture. But age and where you're tuning in from. So I need to have that. And also age of your ex. And Dawn says, good morning or evening, my love. Hello, darling. And she says, I've just woken up. Hope you and yours are well. Thank you very much, Dawn, and hope you are good too. And it's been a while, and glad that you could make it and say hello. And let's see, there's another one here from Dawn. Dawn says, my only dating problem is that I am a magnet for fucking lunatics. I attract idiots. Lord, well, it looks like that you're continuing that expertise, because last time we talked about this particular, I think it was you mentioned that I attract lunatics. So I'm thinking maybe you should change your measuring gadget, so you would up the ante in form of higher expectations, so you won't even give a chance and any opening for the idiots to actually enter, because there would be smaller holes in the sieve in order to be purified, because before it gets to the other side. So make your standards more strict. So at least that kind of people will not be able to pass through the barriers and then interrupt your peace and quiet, and at least meet somewhat with your expectations. Alicia says 29, female, Philadelphia. And Alicia says X is 28, male. All right, let's go back to Alicia's question. It says, hi, Mehran. My ex is moving out of the house now, 2 months after breakup. I'm afraid every man I date will only want objectified during intimacy. Well, look, Alicia, don't buy into the fact that the political system is trying to tell you that men should be attracted to you and are only good if they're attracted to your mind. Look, while it is up to you to see if they're compatible and worthy enough to continue a relationship with them, but at the outset, men are attracted to the woman that to them she seems sexy and she seems attractive. And each person has different criteria or different taste. But that's the general programmings that we've received. We are not necessarily, I'm not saying is good or bad. I'm just discussing how men are put together. We're not put together to see, let's see who's smarter here. We're actually conditioned through our genes. Heterosexual male is conditioned, programmed automatically in his gene to respond to sexy legs, cleavage, beautiful nose, beautiful face, beautiful hair, beautiful eyes, the intimate characteristics of a woman. So we are attracted to that. We are very visual. We're not going to be looking for Einstein in the female form. Just not. Now, later on, if there are compatibility in the consciousness and the stimulation on the mental level and on the consciousness level, then that relationship will last, because there is lot more needed for a relationship to last than physical attraction. But at the beginning, it is the physical attraction that we are attracted to. We want the woman for her beauty. That's what attracts us to approach her. After we have that basic and important need met, qualification and criteria met, then we also want compatibility on the consciousness level. If that is not there, that beauty no longer seems beautiful, and we go our merry ways. Each one of us, women and men, they separate. So if you think that by saying the fact that I'm afraid every man I date will only want to objectify during intimacy, well, yeah, they may, but that's because they're not being honest in a later stages of the relationship. And you expect honesty, which I appreciate that, and that's the way it should be. But at the beginning, you can't necessarily all the time find someone who is deeply involved in finding about your consciousness. They are coming to you wholeheartedly, ready to serve you, ready to be with you, ready to comply to your wishes, because you attract them, because you're pretty, because you seem sexy to them, because that is the effect they have on you. That's the general attraction. Now, that is the time, the window that you two that are attracted physically toward each other, that's the window you have to grow further and connect and bond beyond the physical attraction that you both programmed in your genes to pay attention to. So you cannot expect that the men that are with you, they won't be paying attention to your beauty and sexuality, and they would just be there to see if they can solve a math problem or algebra with you. It's just not the encouragement and the purpose of the basis of the programming between heterosexual male and heterosexual female. The motivation is different. I don't know if I can make myself clear. I don't want to sound like I'm not sensitive to what you're trying to say, but I'm just trying to be realistic about you cannot buy into the fact that what the feminist movements or whatever else expects the man to be. Stop being a man and just love me for whatever the fuck I am. No, they want a beautiful woman that turns them on, as you want the man to have characteristics and aesthetics that would be attractive to you, but they also then want to have a woman who they are compatible on the conscious level as well. But if you think that the men have to going to like you because you're smart or you simply have a graduate degree of some kind, but you're not really fulfilling your role as a woman, that is what they are programmed to follow, it won't work. It needs to be a balance. A woman for a heterosexual male need to be a woman as it is expected in the programmings of the man. And a man for a heterosexual woman needs to be the kind of a qualities and the characteristics that it is programmed in the heterosexual woman to expect. So, and then beyond that, once that is fulfilled, then it is up to them to bond on consciousness level and then make things work. Otherwise, you can't expect a man to love you just because you're a good accountant. And no man could expect that you would love them just because they're male. They have to have proper manners and behavior to treat you well, be compassionate, unselfish, classy, and pay attention to, right? So it goes both ways. So let's see what the rest of the question is where were we? Elisa says, it disgusts and scares me. I want to feel loved and desired at the same time. I tried to discuss this with my partner, but he did not take it well. I want to prevent this in the future. Maybe I didn't understand what you mean. What do you mean when you say they date me? I am afraid every man I date will only want to objectify during intimacy. I don't understand what that means. Objectify during intimacy, like they don't objectify you when you're not intimate. It only happens in. I don't understand. Is it not supposed to? Let me see. Maybe I'm some wrong here. Let me find out what does this in this particular situation means. Look, it's intimacy. I mean, you can play any kind of game you want. I mean, women can objectify the man during intimacy, and the man objectifies the woman during intimacy. That's how sometimes they make them feel amazing, and that's part of the game of sex. And you may just discuss and say, look, I'm not interested to be a sex object when you're making love to me. I want to be respected as I don't know, an accountant or whatever. I mean, what do you think it is, Alicia? It's intimacy, and it's got lots of animalistic feelings in there. It's a gorilla time. It's not gonna sit down and say, darling, how may I help you? That's not gonna happen. Sex is got lots of energy into it, and you can't expect some well mannerism, or maybe you should find a man who is. This happens when you guys are together for after a couple of years. Then no longer is going to be that sexual energy that you don't like. It's not going to be objectifying. It's going to be just, let's make love and let's get it over with, because we're not that hot as we used to. But at the beginning, that animalistic feeling is that you can't help it. Most men, they're just totally into that whole programming. They're not themselves. They're just there to please you, to do whatever it is that you want them to do, or to do whatever it is that you agree that they can do with you. And that is something with consent that you guys should discuss it and make sure that it's in compliance with both wishes and is not stepping over the boundaries. But you cannot expect that to be a political discussion. It's bedroom, and you guys can set your own rules and accept or not accept certain behavior. But you got to understand that this is a program that it's not necessarily that voluntarily unless you guys agree to certain behavior to not to be, adhered to or, committed to. Well, I don't have enough information to continue on this. I don't know really what it is that you object to exactly in detail, and what it is that you do or don't like, or do expect and don't expect. So if it's something that you would like to discuss it further, by all means go on my site, mind@seekstruth.com, mind@seekstruth.com, and make an appointment on the Skype for 1 hour, and I will throw in another hour for new clients, and we'll have 2 hours to discuss it and figure out what it is that you think sex is, and what it is that you think you should expect or not expect. How do you see men? Why do you think they're there with you for intimacy? And what is the whole purpose of getting together? What is the motivation of a heterosexual man and a heterosexual woman want to get together? Perhaps there is some kind of a misunderstanding here, and then we can discuss how you can communicate that with your partner to make sure that it lives up to your standards and expectations, so it will be a happy and a safe experience, and respectful or fulfilling at the same time. And she says, how to stop compulsions. Well, depends on what it is, and you need to let me know a lot more about the obsession to know what kind of compulsion it is. And the general idea is to let the compulsion not take place, knowing that you won't die if you don't take the compulsion, and let the anxiety to go high, and then it'll take longer for you before you do the compulsion, and you may end up not needing because time passes and you don't feel the urge to do the compulsion anymore. And at the same time, talk to your psychologists and psychotherapists and ask their guidance in a specific situation that you're dealing with, because I really don't know what exact topic of the obsession and compulsion you're discussing here. Gaurav, 28, male, Canada. Hello, Mary. Hello, Gaurav. And let me now open the window. Hopefully the smoke is gone. It's so tasty when you put a piece of dried mango in your green tea. It's amazing. Just a piece. Aman says no buffering yet. Oh, I see. Great. That means it was just some fake call. And Neat Prep says, thank you, Mehran. Have a good day. Thank you. You're welcome. Alicia says 29 female. Oh, okay, we got that. Philadelphia, 28. And Alicia says, I have had this experience with partners my age and a bit older as well. Dawn says, haha, I'm not even looking. I just seem to be a magnet for married men. Married men, narcissists, and general weirdos. I'm just getting on with my life, not putting out vibes of wanting someone. It's mad. Well, listen, don't knock it. It means you're automatic magnet. But why to the assholes? God knows. And Alicia says to show affection, he would objectify me. He crossed my boundaries all the time. I've had this problem with most of my partners. I still had sex every day. It's not like I wasn't into it, Lolo. Okay. So, well, it's a role playing at that moment. I mean, you can just forget about anything that could spill over after the intimacy and expect, oh, I shouldn't let this happen now because then it would lose respect on me and they think they can behave with me in a lower manner when we are not intimate and all. Don't you just tell them, listen, bedroom is bedroom, but outside you behave improperly and treat me right. Otherwise, you get the boot and just move on. Otherwise, And Gaurav says, what do you think is the right age to get married? There is no right age. The risks and enjoyments and blessings and hazards are all the same at all times. It's all about the cooperation and being able to work together and be compatible on consciousness level, compromise and help each other and grow together, build together. It's about the motivation of why you want to be together. Is it just to say that I'm married? Is it just to fulfill what is expected of you from the society? Is it sex you're after? Is it tricking each other just to get something? Maybe one of them wants the, I don't know, echelon or the comfort, or the other one wants the sex or the trophy wife. I don't know what the situation is, but you got to see what is the motivation that each one of you are bringing to the table, and is it equal or they're just so far apart that they don't have much things in common. And Dawn says, I need to get up now and get ready for work. Catch you soon. Love you lots. Take care. Okay, dear. Have a nice day and be good to yourself and wear your whatever it is that you got to wear. I mean, mask or gloves or whatever it is. Things are getting a little bit tough and rough, and I don't know anymore right from left. What is right? What is wrong? Who's saying what? So many different things I hear, and one wants to feel that this thing eventually ends and it's all not exactly as it seems. But then from the other end, one feels like, what's going on? Why is this thing not ending? And you hear it from all kinds of authorities that it's so confusing now. Anyhow, darling, take good care of yourselves and do what you got to do, and don't do what you shouldn't be doing. I guess that's the best advice I can give publicly. Vivi says, even if for the common good is better to stay at home, the world has to move on. Talking about COVID restrictions. Rent, bill, food, your family is not paid by staying home. Yeah, I understand that. I certainly understand that. I certainly do. And this is just stupid. This is like too crazy. I really don't know what's going on. So much fear. So, I mean, partly is due to the lack of ability and credibility of the governments who are really causing such things not to be handled. I mean, what about New Zealand? I mean, they got it well. They handled it well. Thank God. Put knock on wood. I mean, they don't have a problem. They're free and doing their things and as they used to live, and they've gotten a hold of it and nipped it in the bud. Australia seems to be doing great, and they have only a few cases here and there. But United States and UK and some other countries are suffering. I wonder why they, with all their capabilities and efficiency and abilities and why haven't they done their best? Because they're supposed to be good at most things, and so on. Even here in Canada, we have a little bit of a spike. We have to be now a little bit, more careful or whatever, because we didn't have any lockdown or anything for a long time now. Actually, we never did have a lockdown. Maybe we individually, voluntarily, we all did what we had to do, but we were pretty vigilant at the beginning. The government was really handling it well, and now there's a spike all over Canada as well, and I don't know how that has started. If the borders are closed, and how does it start? God knows. And Vivi says, thank you, and that's why I said how to deal with anger and worry about money. Yes, New Zealand is a good example, Sweden as well. Yeah, good for them. They took it really seriously, and they did, they took care of themselves. And Carl Bryant says, Kia ora male 28 New Zealand. We were just talking about New Zealand, Carl. You lucky dudes. You guys got a wonderful prime minister there, and she took good care of you guys, and now you are kind of roaming about and doing your own regular lives, and that's wonderful. And Vivi says, in Canada or California, Canada is the worst. It's not the worst, is it? US is the worst. Canada actually been doing pretty good, no? Well, anyhow, I hope we will all be able to handle this properly and escape with our health in our hands and intact. Gaurav says, in the Indian society, a lot of people go for arranged marriage, but it seems like people just want to get married and they don't care about who they are getting married to. It pissed me off, Lois. Well, Gaurav, you have to understand, in that neck of the wood, and those kind of cultures like India, Pakistan, Iran, and similar cultures, sex is the only thing that really makes sense. They help them make sense of it all. The quality of life is very challenging. The equalities are not necessarily there. Overcrowdedness, lack of opportunities. So it's hardship, suffering. And the only thing that just makes it all go away for a momentary time is sex. So that's why they want to get married, to have some kind of an organization. Somebody's going to go to work, or two people are going to go to work, but then they come home, they have some kind of a teamwork or some kind of an organization, some kind of a assurance of being together, not being alone, facing the world, the dangers and sufferings and challenges together, and also be able to have sex. Sex is very important because that's kind of a way to forget every goddamn thing that is going wrong in their lives. So that's why they give it such value, high value. And Vivi says California. Okay, yeah, LA, California. Okay, see, okay, good, yeah, because Canada seems to be not doing too bad, at least at the moment. Well, guys, there are 15 concurrent viewers and 16 likes, and that's pretty good. I wonder if we have anything else. It's 10:38. I should call it a night, if not right away, just within a few minutes, because usually at 11 o'clock I am supposed to not talk, because then the voice wouldn't go disturb my neighbor. So therefore, getting close. So maybe if there's any other question, we will, but it looks like there is none. And we've been here for 1 hour, 48 minutes, so that's pretty good. So I guess it's time for me to say I love you all. Thank you very much for being here and giving me the opportunity to share a thing or two with you. I look forward to have another discussion live stream with you guys next week, Saturday, 1 p.m., and same day, Saturday, 9 p.m., Vancouver time. So one would be for Europe and North America, 1 p.m. Vancouver time next Saturday, and the other one at night in the evening, 9 p.m. Vancouver time, would be for Australia, New Zealand, Singapore, Hong Kong, Philippines, and Indonesia, and India, Pakistan, Iran, UAE, and all the other Asian countries that the time zone seems to be fitting for the Canadian version, Canadian time zone. And Vivi says, thank you, stay safe, and talk to you soon. Thank you very much for that, Vivi. And Sean says, well, thank you very much for your words. Quite welcome, dear. And Gaurav says, still, you can get stuck with the wrong person. Yes, that's right. How can you know someone in a few months? Oh, absolutely right. That's for sure. That's pretty much desperation and pressure of the society. Otherwise, there's no real good reason to get into a marriage in a few months. Nobody knows anything. But they kind of, create a certain sense of urgency for the boy or the girl, depending on who is creating the urgency and for why and for what. But that seems to be the whole thing. Culturally, they're not supposed to get to know each other at all. And if they get married and it's not working, when they say, well, they didn't get to know each other. Well, you didn't want them to get to know each other because you thought if they know each other, that means they've been together. Now, if they've been together, then it's not going to be looking good for the girl. If it's not working and she wants to change the suitor and find somebody else, and then they say, oh, well, but you've been going around with this guy for about 2 years or a year. It's all just a mishmash and not fair to the ones who are actually getting married to at least get to know each other enough before they commit to that challenging experience, a journey. So, again, love you all. Thank you very much for being here, and I look forward to talking to you next week. In the meantime, be good to yourself, to the others. I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now. Well, I gotta read this one. I can't let this go. Sean says, I found your channel about 5 years ago when I went through a separation, and your words helped me much. I'm in a great place, great spot in life. And thanks to people like you. Have a great night. And you're quite welcome, and thanks for sharing that with us. And I appreciate it, and I'm delighted that this channel has had a chance to be part of the solution for you and make you feel at home, and also give you the power that you needed to propel you forward to bigger and better things. Thank you for sharing that. So, talk to you soon, guys. Bye for now.